What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. You see I'm wearing a hoodie in the summertime, so that tells you what? Tony's here, and the house is freezing. But I want to get back into this story about, the tragic news that happened at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia, in which a 14-year-old boy was the shooter today in a mass shooting at a high school, in which 4 people lost their lives, 2 teachers and 2 students, and multiple other people are injured. I don't want to give a number because it keeps changing from hour to hour. But I mean, high school shootings or just school shootings, period, are something that's taken over America, and it's almost becoming a normal thing. Here's a little bit about this young man that the media put out so far.
A 14-year-old is in custody for today's deadly school shooting in Georgia. Hello, everybody. I'm Hannah Batab.
And I'm Steve Eager. It happened at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia. It's about 50 miles northeast of Atlanta. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says at least 4 people are dead and as many as 9 are wounded. The school has almost 2,000 students. They were spilling out of the building as law enforcement and emergency vehicles surrounded the school. Sean Rabb in our newsroom with the latest. Sean.
Yeah, that shooter identified by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation director as Colt Gray, the 14-year-old boy surrendering when confronted by 2 school resource officers and arriving law enforcement. As you said, 4 people dead, 2 students and 2 teachers lost their lives. One of the wounded students on a stretcher being rushed through the crowd by paramedics to a waiting ambulance. 9 total hurt. Another injured person treated on the ground in front of the school. Lines snaked through school grounds as anxious parents rushed to reunite with their children as SWAT teams continued responding to the campus. Students' spirits clearly broken today. Law enforcement in Georgia shaken and emotional by the tragedy that's taken lives and so much more.
This hits home for me. I was born and raised here. I went to school in this school system. My kids go to this school system. I'm proud of this school system. My heart hurts for these kids. My heart hurts for our community. But I want to make it very clear that hate will not prevail in this county. I want that to be very clear and known. Love will prevail over what happened today.
And for the horror at Apalachee High School, that 14-year-old student, Colt Gray, will be tried as an adult, facing 4 counts of murder and other charges. Lots of questions to be answered in the days and weeks to come. This happening just 3 weeks into the new school year.
Guys, that's the information they have about the shooter, 14-year-old Colt Gray, currently locked up and most certainly going to be charged as an adult in this horrific incident. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I was sitting here and I was thinking about this when I was going and picking up Tony from the airport. And it could be a myriad of things. Nobody knows what the motive is for sure. And most likely they'll hear it because, I mean, he has parents and they're probably talking to him. And it'll probably come out as early as tomorrow. But regardless of what the motive is, I want to bring light to a couple of things. Because, I mean, some people might say, oh, it was bullying, or maybe it was hate, like the officer said, the deputy, when he said hate. Maybe he knows something we don't know. But either way, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. This is a 14-year-old boy that did this. At 14 years old. Not only is this tragic for the families, because, I mean, you got 4 people that are not going home. They haven't been identified yet. I think they have a video where they identify them, and I'll probably do another one of these tomorrow. But 2 coaches and 2 students are gone. Could be enjoying life just like you and I are right now at this time and hour. But for some odd reason, this young boy felt as though he had to take a gun to school and let off shots. Now, looking back at this, I done made videos. They had rumors all over the place 60 people shot, 30 people shot. This is why when you get these breaking stories a lot of times, as a content creator, it's good to just stay on the surface. Because, I mean, I done made 2 videos before this now. I mean, anyway. But I'm going to chime on something that a lot of us older people don't think about. Bullying has always been around since the beginning of time. Let's just say this is a bullying thing. This is one of the points I'm going to get at. Bullying's been around since the beginning of time. When kids interact and they're growing, they're establishing pecking orders, and some kids get picked on. I don't know the situation with Colt Ray, being it's only 3 weeks into the school year, in which something made him snap and do what he did. But with the growing rise of social media and people wanting validation and the rise in attention and stuff like that, I think honestly a lot of technology is like too much technology. Sometimes it's not good. I think one of the worst things that ever came out is social media. I'm serious. It's like, you know, we all use it, but it's like for a younger generation, this is like high explosives. Bullying is like 100 times worse than it was back in the day. Kids are like vicious now. There ain't no parental guidance over what they do. People don't really watch over their kids like they used to. And you start seeing stuff like this happen. A lot of people don't pay attention to their children no more. And the children go and seek validation and admiration or adoration out there in other ways outside of the household. It's hard enough to have your children succumb to influences outside of the house. But what's really going on inside the house? For all we know, guys, Colt Gray could have a fixation in violence or stuff that he's seen on the internet that attracts him. We see a lot of serial killer people doing that. He might come from a good family. And speaking of family, this is the part that's horrific. His family has to deal with the actions that he did, even though they didn't do it. Because if you go and look at comments and all the things, a lot of people are slamming the parents. What if they good people? Seriously, nowadays, what if they good people? I got 6 boys. 2 of them slid off the path, and I was in their life. So, I mean, you can't save everybody. You can't get everybody to walk in step with things that you want them to learn. But I will say this, man. For him to go to school, obviously is one of his parents' guns or somebody's gun, and decide that's the right thing to do, put stress on people other than him. Because he's 14 years old. Yeah, they're going to try him as an adult, and he accepted his fate before he pulled that trigger, I'm sure of it. But the after effect and the aftermath of what he did resonates onto his family, and it's unjust, undeserving. Seriously, I mean, it's just wild. Like nowadays, like a school shooting is normal. It's normal. A mass shooting, period. Whether it's Walmart, we didn't heard it so much. It's like, oh, they didn't shot a Walmart up again. It doesn't have the same energy and like awe factor as it used to. These are crimes that go against all rational thought. And people are getting used to it. And that's the scary part. That's the scary part. It's hard being a kid nowadays. You got influences on anything you see. Violence is like, you can type anything up, see violence. The internet will give you anything you offer, especially if you don't have parental controls or people aren't checking on their kids and looking at what they look up. I guarantee you right now, they're still running through his house. Parents answering the same questions, running back and forth to the police station, trying to understand what's the next move to try to save their son. They're going through his Google searches. They done took the weapon, all kind of stuff. These people can't even attend the funeral as a sign of respect for what their son did because it looks really bad. When I was younger, and I was in my grandparents' household, I knew I didn't want them to look at me a certain way. And when I was out in school, I conducted myself a certain way where I didn't have to interact with my parents in a negative situation to where they would have to answer for some stupid stuff I did as a kid and them being adults. I never wanted to make them look bad over actions that I had. And it's like nowadays kids don't have that no more. Most of them don't. They don't. I think a lot of it with these crazy agendas they have out here, a lot of stuff with the identity of self and gender and all this other stuff at young ages, and praying in school and like all of this type of stuff that they want to put on kids and label kids and what you define yourself as, and they didn't confuse the whole thing. You can't even just be a kid no more. Who knows what made this guy do what he did? But at 14, he don't know nothing about nothing. And the rest of his life is in jeopardy. Soon as they came on the thing, did you notice that? If you guys seen the press conference, first thing out their mouth, yeah, we're going to try him as an adult. See, because other people whose child that's not, look at it as unfathomable that somebody did this. You killed somebody else's kid and the year just started. It's stupid. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? It'll come out in time. But I mean, this is a tragedy all the way around the board, just like every other mass shooting every day that's not talked about, or kids killing kids, and just a bunch of stupid stuff that's happening out here because people have lost their way on a level of common sense and instinctual human instinct. Like I said, prayers and condolences to the family. May all the victims rest in peace, and everybody else injured make a smooth recovery. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.